As rewarding as real estate investment could be, one should be mindful that there are common pitfalls that one should avoid in order to enjoy these rewards that come with real estate investments. There are many segments, there are many divisions, there are many aspects of real estate investments. Now, depending on the one you want to venture into, whether it is dealing with land, it is dealing with rental properties, commercial properties, it is off-plan projects, foreclosure or auction property, whichever one you want to venture into, you should know that there are certain information you need to gather in order to make a well-informed decision as regards the real estate investments you are venturing into. And this is what we call due diligence. I'm sure you must have heard the word due diligence. Due diligence is not limited to real estate investments. It cuts across every sphere of life. What is due diligence? Maybe we should even start from there. This definition is the real estate definition of due diligence. It is more elaborate, but at least with this you should be able to have an information of what due diligence is and the kind of due diligence one should do in order to avoid these common pitfalls that investors fall into. And eventually you see somebody saying something like real estate investment is nonsense, real estate investment does not worth it, real estate investment is a crap. I want to say that it is because of these investors' bitter experience. Even in my own journey in real estate investment, most of the clients that have bought real estate from me, they are people who have been scammed. And just because of the knowledge that I dish out to them, now they become more informed and it helps them to make a well-informed decision as regards the investment. So let's look at it. What is the definition of due diligence? Due diligence is the process of gathering information regarding the legal, financial, and physical status of a property and the neighborhood in which it is located. Gathering information regarding, number one, the legal, the financial, and physical status of the property and the neighborhood, the location as well. So you need to gather information. Does it suit your investment objective? Are there legal issues with it? That aspect is key, and that's why I usually tell any real estate investor that you need a property lawyer, not just any lawyer, when investing in real estate. You need, especially when it is not just one plot, two plots, one property. You know you are going to be doing multiple transactions in real estate investments. Don't just use anyhow lawyer. Use a property lawyer. They are specialists in that area. When you are carrying out this due diligence, they will be able to do it well. Especially when you cannot get a real estate broker who knows the game, who knows what he or she is doing. As much as not all properties will tick all these boxes, but at least 70 to 80% should be ticked, and eventually you know that, okay, I am good to venture into this real estate investment. So the legal, the financial, and the physical status of a property. Let's look at it. So what is the first aspect? What is the first common pitfall you need to look at? Many people have been scammed when it comes to title and documentation. Title and documentation. I was listening to the chairman and CEO of P1 Group, and he was talking about how he got scammed in Abuja, how he bought a land, the title was correct, it was a C of O land, and eventually he did not know, the lawyer that went to verify did not know that that C of O was meant for a different location. Meanwhile, he has started a project on that land where they showed him, but that C of O was meant for another location, and eventually government came, they demolished everything. Title and documentation, you need to get this right. Due diligence needs to be carried out in these aspects. Number one, for instance, if you are buying a land with certificate of occupancy, you should know that there are different types of certificate of occupancy. We have the industrial certificate of occupancy, We have the agricultural certificate of occupancy. We have the residential certificate of occupancy. The one that most people know is just the residential. But you want to buy land in a particular place, for instance, or a property, and the certificate of occupancy for that location is just 25 years. Is for agriculture. Agriculture is for 25 years and not 99. For industrial certificates, it is for 35 years and not 99 years like the residential. So you need to verify this. You need to verify, is the certificate of occupancy, is it still intact? Is it still genuine? Because certificate of occupancy can be revoked. These are the due diligence to carry out so that you will avoid being scammed when it comes to the aspect of buying lands, even with a correct title. Because some people, the moment they hear that this land has C of O, oh, they are good to go, as if that is all. For instance, you want to buy land, a particular person has C of O, another person has Supreme Court judgment. Which one should you go for? These are questions to ask. Title and documentation, getting it right, knowing the difference between a provisional survey and a registered survey. So don't let me stay too long on title and documentation. I hope you are getting my point. So due diligence in this area, title and documentation. You also need to know that there's a difference between documents and a title. Every title is a document, but not every document is a title. I say that again. Every title is a document, but not every document is a title. I give you an example. Certificate of occupancy is a title and it's also a land document. Deed of assignment is a land document, but it is not a land title. So get this right. These are common pitfalls to avoid. Number 2, acquisition and coordination check. Let them check for you. Is the land under acquisition? If it is under acquisition, is it committed or non-committed? Uncommitted acquisition. If it is committed, you know that you can't go there at all. If it is uncommitted, okay, is it ratifiable? Is it something you can regularize after buying? These are questions to ask. These are pitfalls to avoid when you are investing in real estate. Coordinate check, which means a surveyor picking the coordinates for you, and you can also have the app on your phone. For instance, I have it on my phone. My surveyor installed it for me so that wherever I go and I want to pick the coordinate of the land, I can pick it and send to the Ministry of Lands to help me to confirm that land. Number 3, ownership validity. Ownership validity. I'll state this with a simple example. When I just got into real estate, there was a man who wanted to sell a particular property, and eventually he took us to the house. We saw the house. We assessed it, and eventually, when we got back to our office, the wife came to our office that it was not the man alone that owns the property, that she is a co-owner, that the documents that is on the property, her name is there. Which means if we had sold that property believing that it was that man alone who owns the property, who would have been in trouble? So ever since, so ask, okay, how many people owns this property? Because properties are co-owned. At times it is not just one person. It is owned by husband and wife. So does the person have the right to sell the property? There was another one that happened like that. That one is even this year. That it was just the husband who wanted to sell. Meanwhile, it was co-owned by the husband and the wife. And even the case was in court. So it is due diligence that will expose all this. I hope you understand. What is number 4? Land registry search. You need to do a land registry search. Go and check the status of the land. At times they even issue a certificate. Now, it is not in every case that you do this, depending on the volume of the money you are putting into that investment. Depending. I hope you understand. You cannot want to buy a land or a property of, let's say, 50 million naira now, and you will not do the normal due diligence. You heard of one guy, one of the skit maker that was scammed this year, Tabano, who was scammed 60 million. If not for maybe VDM who helped him now to collect a part of the money, 60 million. So let's move on. So court case on property. By the time you use a property lawyer, this is where a property lawyer comes in. A court case. A property lawyer will easily know if the land has a court case. Just leave that to the property lawyer. He or she knows what to do when it comes to this. But if you use a generalist lawyer, the person, just because is not so conversant with that terrain, with that aspect of real estate, with that aspect of law, may not be able to do the proper due diligence. Then probate and will status. Probate and will, for instance, a person who owned the property and eventually he died and he wrote a will. So the person that is selling, we don't know whether it was his or her name that is stated in the will. So just like I said, a lawyer, property lawyer will do all this check. Any community issues, any duplicate sale, people sell a single property to 4 different people. It's common in the aspect of land. And another thing some people do is to do payments in piecemeal, flexible payment. So they are collecting money from 4 different people at the same time on one property. So also beware when people are selling in piecemeal. Be careful when people are selling a property to you in piecemeal. It may not be only you that they are selling to at that point in time. They may be selling to 4 different people, and it is the person that first completes the payments that they sell to, and eventually, before you know it, you won't see them again. Any caveat on the land? Is there any caveats? Maybe there's a court case. It is not every property that has a court case that you see it being marked. Some are not being marked, so that's why still work with a property lawyer, and eventually you are good to go. Then number 10 is demand and supply. If we are using this for investments, maybe rental property, commercial property, the due diligence you need to do is demand and supply. Is there a demand for this kind of property? Is there a demand for this property in this location? These are cogent questions to ask. Don't just go and buy property. For instance, I usually cite this simple example. You want to buy a property to turn into an hostel, for instance, but there is no tertiary institution in that location. The question is, won't that hostel be redundant? So these are just the few. There are many more, but these are just the few that I think I should bring to your notice. Common pitfalls to avoid in real estate investments. However, still work hand in hand with your property lawyer. I'm not a property lawyer. I'm a real estate broker. I sell real estate. I'm also a finance and investment coach. And if you need any help as regards buying any property, you can ask a question in the comment section below. Or you even have other common pitfalls that I did not list in. Drop it in the comment section below. So we meet in our next video.